Hello, welcome back to this series of talks where I discuss music, philosophy, culture, and the role of artists in society. This week, I wanted to talk about music and its effect on our lives. Mainly, I want to address one of the things music does to our mental state that allows it to become such a powerful ingredient in our lives. Music can be and do many things for people. It can excite, it can calm, it can intensify your current emotions, it can make you move, it can connect you to your peers to create rapport, it can inspire sense of awe, just to name a few. One of the things I believe music does is that it serves as a bridge to other states of mind. In particular, it connects you to a reality that is not based on words or in linear time. And how does it do this? What does music do? What does music communicate? This is a very complex and deep subject that I'm not going to address completely in one video or even in a lifetime, but I'll try to explain what I think makes this bridge functionality of music in our lives. So in order to explain how music allows you to connect to this reality that is not based in words or in linear time, I first have to talk about words or language and its limitations. Even though words and music have been related intimately for many centuries, in the last couple of centuries, music became more of an independent entity. This is a historical process academics call the idea of absolute music, or the paradigm of absolute music, where music starts becoming more instrumental, and in such way it separates from the other art forms. And what happens, at least in our comprehension of music, is that music can exist as an independent entity without references to words or images or narratives. Check out the book, The Idea of Absolute Music, if you're interested in the subject. But what I'm trying to say when I bring this up is that I believe this transition from music to becoming an independent entity wasn't just a cultural process, but it's rooted in how we experience reality in itself. Going back to words, words are not just labels we attach to objects. Words are maps of meaning that define how we think and what we think. Words are a fundamental way of how we understand and think about the world. And as we said before, they don't allow us only to label objects and ideas, but to create entire classifications of the world. They allow us to map meaning between domains of experience. For example, I can say, the thoughts are in my head. But if you think about that phrase, nothing is in my head. It's an idea of inwards and outwards. So this concept of a vase, for example, where you have an in space and an out space, can be translated into this concept of ideas in my head, if that makes sense. Basically, words allow us to create complex mappings of the world and understanding in a more sophisticated way. And through the labeling and the maps of meaning that words create, we're able to model our world, and in that way also predict and manipulate it. So it's a fundamental piece not only of how we think, but how we interact with the world. And when I speak of the world, it's not just the external world, it's also the internal world. Words have a fundamental role in our understanding of ourselves. When Descartes says, "I think, therefore I am," you can translate that really into, I verbalize my thoughts, and therefore I am. So the word comes before the actual realization that you exist. The I and the am are there before you can utter this thought and come to the conclusion that you exist. What I'm trying to say with all this is that there's a level of human experience that is not based on words or language. It's more basic, more primitive. It doesn't rely on our concepts. It's more of a direct experience. Besides that basic sense of being, that it's more primitive, there's also other kinds of experiences that are perhaps more rare or that live in the edges of culture, like mystic experience, psychedelic experiences, experiences of awe, aesthetic experiences. All of these are examples of experiences that you can't really put into words, and once you try to explain them, they just lose their power. And it's in this space of non-language, of a more basic experience of reality, that music comes in. Music, if you think about it in these terms, allows us to access on our daily basis to this realm of experience that is not conceptual and not verbal. And it acts as a mind balancer. By accessing this reality on a daily basis or regularly, you are reminded that your mind is not the whole experience, that your thoughts are not the ultimate reality. If there's such a thing as a direct experience, not mediated by the mind and by thoughts, then music is pretty much the closest thing we have to it. And this more direct experience not only disarticulates the concepts and the language, but also questions our concept of time. How come? Doesn't music happen in time? Don't you have a duration? Don't you have a 4 minutes or 10 minutes of a piece of music that you listen to, and it happens in that lapse of time? Well, not exactly. We can write down music, we can record it, we can represent it, and maybe that allows us to see it on a timeline and even allows us to analyze it and get some theory or theoretical understanding out of it. But the truth is, music doesn't exist in a lapse of time. Music only exists on the present. There's no music outside. There's no music in the future, and there's no music of the past. Even when you're remembering a tune in your head, it's happening in the present. Music is the art form that happens exclusively in the present. So music really is also a reminder, not only that words are limited, but that time is just a construct, because there's only present moment. Hope you liked this video and that it sparked some thoughts about your relationship to music. And if you have any comments, please leave them below. Subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, hit the notification button, and yeah, see you next time.